My first time at Sundance is shaping up to be a good one. Hey everybody, welcome to Mainely Movies. Today I'm going to be talking about my 10 most anticipated movies of this year's Sundance Film Festival. If you're new here, please consider subscribing for a variety of movie-related content like reviews, rank lists, and trailer reactions. As many of you already know, I received press accreditation for the Sundance Film Festival this year, and I'm headed to Park City, Utah to experience the festival in person for the first time. In fact, when this video publishes, I'll actually already be at Sundance. There are a ton of films I'm excited for this year, so I figured I'd share 10 of my most anticipated Sundance movies with you. So I'm hoping to see as many of these as I can while I'm in Park City, as well as some other bonus movies, which I'll mention at the end of this video. With the way the schedule works out and the logistics of travel, there may be some I don't get a chance to see in the theater, but my press pass is a hybrid pass, so I hope to catch the remaining ones online. Just like I did with TIFF, I'll be bringing you reviews of the movies I do get to see over the coming days, weeks, and months. I'm not going to try to rank these by anticipation, so we're just going to go through this list alphabetically. First up is The Accidental Getaway Driver, directed by Sing J. Lee as his feature-length directorial debut, the first of quite a few on this list. So this movie is about an elderly Vietnamese man living in California who works as a rideshare driver. He reluctantly accepts one final late-night ride call, only to discover that the 3 riders are actually convicts who've just escaped from jail. They hold him hostage, and he becomes a very reluctant, accidental getaway driver. Apparently, this movie is inspired by a true story, and it's one of those films that just has a really interesting sounding premise. I imagine there's going to be some good thriller aspects to it, but I expect that we'll probably see some drama and likely unexpected bonding between the driver and his passengers. Next is Rebirth, directed by Laura Moss, another directorial debut. This one's part of the festival's midnight programming and is sci-fi horror thriller. A good premise is usually enough to get me interested in a movie, and this one certainly has that going for it. This film is about a nurse and a morgue pathologist who somehow reanimate a young girl who's died. At first glance, this one definitely has some Pet Sematary vibes going for it, with that reanimation premise, but it seems like it might focus on slightly different things than that classic Stephen King story. And even if it doesn't, it looks like it's going to be a nice blend of chills and emotion. Continuing on is Eileen, directed by William Oldroyd. Set in the 1960s, it tells the story of Eileen, an unhappy prison secretary, played by Thomasin McKenzie, who befriends her co-worker, played by Anne Hathaway. But this friendship and possible romance isn't all that it appears, and seems like it's going to take a dark and criminal turn. This movie is based on the 2015 novel by Ottessa Moshfegh, which I haven't read, so I really don't know where the story's gonna go, but it's definitely got me intrigued. Next is Infinity Pool, directed by Brandon Cronenberg. Starring Alexander Skarsgård, Cleopatra Coleman, and Mia Goth, this is a sci-fi horror thriller that focuses on a couple staying at an island resort. They leave the resort grounds, however, and find themselves involved in a crime and the very unique criminal justice system of this island. This movie looks pretty wild, and if Cronenberg's past films, like Possessor in 2020, and the slew of content warnings on the Sundance page are any indication, this is probably going to have some pretty intense body horror to it. These types of movies can go either way for me, so I'm hoping it goes the way that Possessor did, because I really enjoyed that one. Moving on, we've got Landscape with Invisible Hand, directed by Corey Finley. Based on a book by M.T. Anderson, this sci-fi comedy drama focuses on the world after an alien takeover. These aliens bring along some very expensive technology, and in order to make some money, 2 teens decide to live stream to entertain these aliens, but things don't exactly go as planned. I have not read this book either, but the story sounds like it has some potential, and I really liked Corey Finley's previous film, Thoroughbreds, so I'm looking forward to checking this one out. Up next is The Pod Generation, directed by Sophie Barths. This one stars Emilia Clarke and Chiwetel Ejiofor as a couple in the near future. In this futuristic world, everything is controlled by artificial intelligence, and maternity is conducted within these detachable pods. This one looks like it's going to be a mix of genres, with some very obvious sci-fi, but also comedy, drama, and romance. But beyond the basic idea of this premise, it seems like it's going to be diving into some deeper themes regarding nature, AI, and differing viewpoints within relationships. Next is Polite Society, directed by Nita Manzoor as her feature directorial debut. This is another movie that's part of Sundance's Midnight program, and it's about a London teenager, Rhea, who is a martial artist in training with aspirations to become a world-renowned stuntwoman. Her sister suddenly decides to get married, and fearing that something's amiss, Rhea decides to take it upon herself to stop the wedding. From the looks of things, this one seems like it's going to be a massive genre mashup. There's going to be action, comedy, a heist, music and Bollywood elements, social thriller aspects. This looks like it's going to have a lot going on, but it also seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. Continuing on, we've got Shortcomings, directed by Randall Park. I think we're all familiar with Park as an actor, but this is actually going to be his directorial debut. This one is supposed to be about a struggling filmmaker, his girlfriend, and his best friend, as he tries to figure out what he wants in life. This seems like it's going to be one of those comedic, pseudo-coming-of-age stories for 20 and 30-something-year-olds. But it also seems like it might be a good one for people who are really into movies, since the main character is an aspiring filmmaker, works at a movie theater, and according to the Sundance description, quote, likes to spend his time watching Criterion DVDs. Honestly, that alone piques my interest with this one. Next is Sometimes I Think About Dying, directed by Rachel Lambert. This one stars Daisy Ridley as an isolated woman who doesn't really like interacting with people and prefers to stay by herself and in her own head. But when a new guy is hired at the office she works at, things start to change for her. This one, admittedly, seems like it's going to follow a fairly typical romantic comedy drama path, but I think focusing on this type of awkward, antisocial character is enough to separate it from the pack a little, and maybe make it a tad bit more relatable than other romantic comedies like this. Rounding things out is Talk to Me, marking the directorial debut for twins Michael and Danny Philippou. This movie already premiered at the Adelaide Film Festival last year, but it's going to be part of Sundance's Midnight programming. It's about a group of friends who hold a seance with an embalmed hand, which ends up sort of bending and merging the spirit world with the real world, leading to some horrific consequences. It sort of sounds like a standard horror movie, but reviews out of Adelaide were really positive, and the description on the Sundance website makes it sound like it's going to be pretty good and pretty gory, so I'm definitely interested in this one, because I love a good horror movie. So those are my top 10, but like I said at the beginning of the video, I have a few bonus movies that I want to very briefly mention. I'm not going to go into any details on these extra ones right now, but in alphabetical order, I plan to also see All Dirt Road's Taste of Salt, Animalia, Bad Behavior, Bravo Burkina, Cassandro, Cat Person, Drift, Fair Play, Fremont, Kim's Video, Limoncita, Magazine Dreams, My Animal, Onyx the Fortuitous and the Talisman of Souls, Run Rabbit Run, Rye Lane, Scrapper, and You Hurt My Feelings. Alright, so there you have it. 10 of my most anticipated movies of Sundance 2023, with a few extra thrown in for good measure. Which Sundance movies are you looking forward to this year? Which ones would you like to see me review? Be sure to post your pics and your thoughts in the comments below. Remember, I'll be reviewing as many of these movies as I can, so be on the lookout for those videos for some more in-depth discussion of each, as well as my ratings, pros and cons, and even tailored film recommendations. Alright, so if you got some enjoyment, insight, or information out of this Sundance list, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button, and if you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe while you're at it to see more videos like this, as well as movie reviews. Till next time, this has been Alyssa with Mainly Movies. The way life should be.